Hey, what's happening, guys? Let's get right into it. Let's talk about JDS versus Francis Ngannou. JDS is coming off of a win beating Derek Lewis. Ngannou with a big win over Cain Velasquez. I guess the fight kind of makes sense. So let's talk about how these guys match up. Junior Dos Santos is the former UFC heavyweight champion. He has an MMA record of 21 wins and 5 losses. JDS has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he mostly uses his hands in his fights. I'd say his fight style is primarily boxing based. JDS does like to mix in kicks though. He likes throwing the spinning back kick. JDS has some of the best movement in boxing in MMA, especially for a heavyweight. I've always loved this fight style. I think he has some of the nastiest uppercuts ever. He always seems super humble and nice outside of the cage, but once in the cage, he is an absolute killer. He's tough to take down. He gets back up easily. When you face him, he typically has superior boxing. He's a nightmare for a lot of heavyweights. Francis Ngannou has an MMA record of 13 wins and 3 losses. One of the scariest heavyweights to ever compete in the UFC. He actually might be the scariest. He's a mountain of a man, hits like a Mack truck. He has damn good boxing for a heavyweight in the UFC. I really like Ngannou's hands. He's fast, he hits hard. He also has devastating uppercuts. It's like anything he hits you with, he's gonna hurt you with. Contrary to popular belief, I don't think Ngannou's easy to take down. Stipe took him down and controlled him because he's Stipe. We certainly didn't see that with Curtis Blades. I do think Ngannou has to work on his ground game a bit, maybe his offensive grappling. Also, if he was better at getting up off the mat when taken down. I think Ngannou's a mega contender and can absolutely win the UFC heavyweight title. Both JDS and Ngannou are listed at 6'4", but Ngannou has an 83-inch reach as opposed to JDS's 77-inch reach. So how do these guys match up? Well, I think it's a super exciting fight because both of these guys are pretty much strikers. They actually have a very similar style. They like to keep it on the feet, stuff takedowns, use their superior boxing. Both JDS and Ngannou have crazy knockout power. It's really debatable who hits harder because I think JDS hits insanely hard, but in my honest opinion, I think Ngannou's a more powerful puncher. As far as who has the better boxing technique, I think Ngannou has really good hands, but JDS edges him in pure boxing. That goes for technique and combinations. Yeah, I think JDS has better boxing. Chin and durability, I'm going to have to go with Francis Ngannou. JDS, in my opinion, is past his prime. He's taken a ton of damage throughout his career. Scary damage, actually. I do think he can take a punch, but I think Ngannou has a better chin right now. And that's what concerns me with this fight for JDS. Even though JDS has the better boxing technique, and not by like a huge margin, mind you, Ngannou's pretty good with his hands. I just see Ngannou catching JDS with a big punch at some point in the fight. I don't really like this fight for JDS. As soon as it was announced, I was like, oh boy. JDS can absolutely win this fight, especially if he fights smart. It's going to help him out to mix it up, throw those spinning back kicks that he likes. And guess what? Go for takedowns. If he lets his ego take over and just wants to stand and trade with Ngannou, that might be very bad for him. But if he fights smart, fights like a mixed martial artist, secures some takedowns, gets some ground and pound in, use his BJJ, it's going to exponentially increase his odds to win. But what I think is going to happen is that these guys are going to trade bombs. It's going to be primarily a striking match. I think Ngannou's going to catch JDS with a really big shot and get the W. For Ngannou to increase his odds of winning, obviously not get taken down. He can't let his back get put up against the cage, which is going to impede his movement, make it easier for JDS to get a takedown or tee off on him with combinations. Try to keep it in the center of the octagon, make it a little ugly with JDS. Don't try to go straight boxing versus boxing against JDS. At some point, Ngannou is going to land, and can JDS take that shot? I guess we're going to find out when these guys fight. Super exciting matchup, can't wait. Who do you guys got winning this fight? Would love to read those opinions in the comment section. Thanks for watching the segment, guys. Thanks for the support, the subs, the shares. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.